Hey guys, what's going on? It is me, Sam here, and welcome to episode number 1 of Venture to Virtus. So yes, I have finally started it, and I really can't wait to complete this series. I've already completed Torva and Pernix, and seeing as Virtus was the last next set for me to complete, I'm going to be doing it in the same style of literally just doing PVM and trying to make enough cash to buy the full set. Now the full set will actually include the wand in the book for anyone that is curious, as I do seem to get a lot of questions regarding that. So yeah, so now moving into the bank just to show you what gear I have and what I'm going to be using. Pretty much got my Torva, you guys know that, on my Pernix, and also Ganodermic. Ganodermic is my weak point, hence why I'm trying to get Virtus to upgrade it, and I really can't wait to get the Virtus wand and book. They're a lot of money, but you know, they're really good at the same time, and my mage isn't too great. Like a chaotic staff ain't gonna cut it at places like Virago and Nex. So I'm really looking forward to getting Virtus, and of course I've got my completionist cape as well. That's just an epic cape. It's got some awesome stats on it, and it just looks nice, so that's cool. And my best weapons in my bank is, of course, the Drygor Rapiers level 90. I'm going to be using these a lot, and I really can't wait to use them. And just to top it off, I've got my player own port gear, so if I ever need to go to some high level bosses, I can use that armor and you know, take less damage. And also something to mention is the food and potions I have in the bank to aid me through the trips. I've got stuff like overloads, prayer renewals, and restores, you know, just to help me out here, to make the trips, you know, last longer and faster. And I'm going to be using rocktails as my food, so I really can't wait to start PVMing. And the first boss I'm going to go to is QBD. I know it's just like, you know, it's a good boss, it's consistent cash, and just to get myself back into the PVM spirit, I've decided to go to her. So I'm going to gear up now, and if I get any good drops, I'll make sure to record. So to start things off with a bang, I managed to get myself an effigy on the first kill of QBD, which actually happens to be my first ever effigy at QBD. So that's kind of cool to see, even though it gets annoying sometimes with these types of series where you just get loads of effigies, but really what you're after is the drops with value. But I can't complain, you know, effigies are nice and they're kind of rare in the game now, so can't complain about that. It's free XP and it's quite a lot. Okay then, so the next drop I managed to get was a dragon kite shield. This was quite a few kills after the effigy. It's really nice to see, even though they're about 400 to 500k, they still look really cool when you loot it from the chest there, and I personally think they look cool anyway when you wield them, but yeah, it is a shame that they've dropped so much in price, but 500k is still pretty nice and I'll happily take that. And just to mention as well, I have had some of the royal pieces, but I've decided not to record them just because they're only worth about 150k now, which isn't too great, and you seem to get a lot of them, so I'm only going to be recording the big drops such as effigies, dragon kite shields, and the visages. So hopefully I can get a visage because they look awesome. Alright then, so I just finished a couple of hours at QBD, and all of the loot I got from it is in the bank now. So I got dragon bones, dragon hide, I got the D-kite of course, and a couple of the royal pieces, so pretty happy overall. It's kind of what you expect at QBD. I mean, there's no real sort of standout drops, maybe apart from the visage or the dragon kite, but most of it is just small drops which add up to make QBD just a really good money maker per hour. So I'm just adding it all into my invent now so I can just see actually how much I've made from this. So like I said, I've been only doing it for a couple of hours, so not too long. I also managed to pick up 1.7 mil as well, because if you don't know already, you do get cash drops, so you know, I've got to make sure I include that. 1.7 mil is pretty good as well, just when picking up the cash, so that's nice. So just adding everything in there already. The big one is the Lantadime, so that's like 1.8 mil just from that drop alone, which is really nice. The Addy ore and the coal definitely, you know, puts up there, and of course the dragon bones and the dragon hide puts up to 12.4 mil, so pretty good. Not too bad for just doing QBD for a couple of hours. And yeah, I think what I'm going to do next is Zamorak, because I haven't been there in a while and it has some really good drops, so I'm going to head there now, and yeah, hopefully we get some drops. Okay then, so my first drop at Zami is another ancient effigy. That's my second one of the series. Still kind of cool to get them, even though I really am trying to get these valuable drops, because this is all going towards Virtus, which costs a lot of money. I would have much rather wanted a hilt or something, but there we go for another ancient effigy. Alright then, so unfortunately that was all the drops I got from that Zami trip, just that ancient effigy, which kind of sucks because I want to get an item which is, you know, at least worth some value to be added into the drop tab. But what I'm going to do is head back and keep trying at it until I do get one. And you know, nonetheless, Zami is good, even if you don't get a drop, just because of the average loot you can get. Like you can get Lantadime seeds and just grimy Lantadimes, like they are quite a lot of money right now, so just getting them can add up, and it's not too bad, and they look kind of nice in the tab if you get loads of them, so that's cool. So I'm just going to quickly show you everything I did get from that trip. I got a load of this War Priest armor, which is quite interesting because you could only get it from the Battle of Lumbridge before, but seeing as that has ended, you can now get it from the Zami boss himself. So I got 4 pieces of that, which is insane. It's meant to be quite rare, and all the other loot as well is just probably added up to about 1 mil. Got 427k cash as well, which is quite a lot, so definitely Zami is a good money maker, even if you don't get a drop. So I'm going to head back there and hope that I will get one, maybe a Zami hilt, because I've never had one of them before, but we just have to wait and see. Wow guys, would you look at that? That is Ancient Effigy number 3. They're meant to be rare, just keep getting them. What is going on? And we're only on episode 1 as well, which is crazy. But hopefully I can get some drops worth of value, because that's really what I'm after here, so fingers crossed. So, something a little bit better than an Ancient Effigy in my opinion is a Clue Scroll Elite. I'd rather have one of these just because you know you're going to get something that's worth a bit of value, even though most of them are about 100 to 200k, but still I find Elites fun to do, and hopefully I can get something worth of value. That'd be great. So another trip at Zamorak complete. This one I'd say was a little bit better. I managed to get an Ancient Effigy and a Clue Scroll Elite, which I'm going to do as soon as I teleport out. But again, no real drops from Zami itself, so still haven't ever had a Zami Hilt or a Zamarakian Spear, which is crazy because I've done a lot of Zamorak in the past, but you know, I've just not really been too lucky, even though it's just tempting to do because it's like some of the pieces of subjugation is worth like 7-8 mil, and there's a couple pieces around that price. That's cool, so that's really why I keep heading back. But everything I did get from that trip was, you know, pretty much adding up to about 1 mil. That's usually what you make if you don't get about you know, if you don't get any drops, so it's alright. But really, I really want some of these drops because they're worth quite a lot right now, and it'd be really nice in the drop tab. So like I said, I'm going to do my Elite Clue Scroll, and then I'm going to head back to Zami once again and see if I can finally hit the jackpot and get a drop. Okay, so I'm on the last piece of the Celtic Knot, and here we go for the reward, and look at that, it's all just junk, nothing worth of value in there. I think it added up to about 250k, which isn't too great. I was really hoping for a piece of armour, or maybe a weapon, maybe the dragon mask, I don't know, which might be worth a little bit of value, but yeah, it really wasn't too great. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to head back to Zami now, and hopefully pick up some subjugation. So here I am back at Zami, and look at that, finally I've got a drop. That is the Gloves of Subjugation, and there's a new update in game where a beam of light shines if you get a good drop, which is awesome. I was actually one of the people who suggested that when I went to Jagex. I said about adding sparkles to a rare drop, so it's really awesome to see that into the game now because it's really helpful, especially for drops like that where you just really can't see it on the floor too well. And it's really awesome to get some grats from your friends as well. Now with the broadcast update, most people play with that on now so they can see whenever you get a drop, and I'm just really glad myself to get some. So that's 2.8 mil, not the best, but at least it's a drop. So Zami was really cool to me throughout this episode because I killed it many times, and to only walk away with Gloves of Subjugation isn't too great, but I had fun, and at least I tried. You know, I could have got something good, but I didn't, but I can always go back whenever I feel like it. So just in the event, I've got the average loot you get, so that's like Lanterdime Seeds, Jugs of Wine, and the coins, which is definitely worth picking up because you do make some extra bank just from doing that. Don't be lazy, you know, make sure you pick that up. And I also decided to bring Yak Skulls with me this time so I can bank the ashes, because at the time they're worth about 3.9k, which is quite a lot of money, and they're very easy to get. So if you are heading to Zami yourself, I do recommend to pick them up, because as you can see in my bank, I did manage to get a whole load of them, and this is what I got from this trip. It was definitely the best one I've had so far, mainly because of the Gloves of Subjugation, which are worth 2.8 mil, and also the ashes, which are close to 900k, and just the other drops which you get from it, including the runes, do add up, and you know, overall it's just a nice trip in general. So I definitely do recommend to go to Zamorak around this time, just because it is really good money, even if you don't get a good drop. You know, the average drop itself do add up, and you know, it's just a really nice boss to go to, and it's quite easy too. But yeah guys, this is everything that's happened throughout episode number 1. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button if you have, because it does motivate me to make these faster, and it does tell me that you guys like them. And also to check out my Twitch channel, because I have been live streaming it since the start. We've had a massive outcome, and we seem to hit one of the top 3 spots of the Twitch RuneScape channels themselves. But yeah guys, that's it from me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.